Hi, I'm Kishel, and today's the opening day of Fisher season, and I'm going to show you the kind of a little bit of how-tos, but actually experience some of the line with me, which I rarely do. But I'm bringing you out today, and with the hopes that we catch some fishers. But today's the setup day, so I'm just going to walk you through some of the equipment and the sets throughout the day that I use, and hopefully you pick up some pointers. But I like to keep things as fast and efficient as I possibly can. For fishers, you know, I carry a bucket that has all my attractors in it, my wires, my pliers, my hatchets, things like that I'll need in presenting a set to the fisher. I certainly carry my mongrel lure. It's a stopper on these fishers and predators in general. And I have beaver meat that I saved from years past. I keep it fresh. I just thawed out, and that'll be a main attractor in the back of my cubbies. And I'm on my leaning pole sets. So it's beaver meat, it's my mongrel, and I also, you'll see me do is I just liquefy real fast, and you guys can do it too. I just liquefy beaver castor, and I give a little bit of that on the bait, and that's it. You know, fishers, you know, they're nomads. They like to wander. It's hard to stop them. So you need something that's got some stout, and that's mongrel. That will get their attention because it's a loud, strong odor. And then the smell of that sweet beaver meat in that leaning pole set or that cubby, along with a little castor, deadly. The equipment pretty much is, you know, here in New York State we're regulated to what we can use as far as size goes on fishers, and this is a Conibear 160 I use, and pretty much it's a pretty simple setup. You know, once it's set, you see my trigger mechanism. You see how I designed the triggers so that fisher comes into this box to get that beaver meat. He hits that trigger and gets caught. But the box itself has got to be 6 inches square with a recess out to 8 inches. And I literally have hundreds of these and put them out. You can put them out as long as you don't bait them up or set it long before the season to get it ready. And that's what we're kind of doing, and putting some new ones out today as well. But that's the simplicity of this thing. But if you want to follow my techniques, and certainly if you want to use my lure, you're going to catch fishers. What I have here is I have this little strip of hardwoods that kind of runs rectangular for miles, and we're on a trail where the trail's split, and these fishers will run between these two big pine groves and searching for small game here. So obviously I put a set right there. I threw a chunk of beaver meat in there, set the Conibear, and lured it up in the back with a little bit of that liquid castor I was talking about, and on the tree I put mongrel. So anything coming this way between these is gonna smell that. I got sight, I got location, and now I have smell. And if this was smell-o-vision, mongrel's pretty loud. You'd know. A lot of people, they won't stake these boxes down, but I like to run stakes and pinch this box in so it's good and solid. And the reason I do it is in case a coon comes around and he's trying to get at that bait and he flips the box, and I've had boxes flipped, and it just secures that Conibear in that trap and the box itself. It's worth the extra step. You know, you won't get as many misses. That gets nice solid. This is what's known as a leaning pole set. So in areas that you know, especially these thickets, these fishers will run these leaning poles. I'm going to show you how I set it up. Again, a 160 Conibear. I think the brand is Duke, but I have a stabilizer that I nail right to the thing, so this thing's rock solid. Okay, and above it, I'm going to wire this beaver meat above it like that, lure it up, and here in New York State, you can't have any exposed bait, so you'll see me cover it with some branches and leaves for the exposure. But they're going to smell the blood in this beaver meat. They're going to smell this a long ways. Hopefully, run up this pole, catch them in a trap. Now you can get a better picture of the leaning pole, your trap stabilized on it, you know, your meat relatively close, and we're going to cover this up with some broth so that we don't have exposed meat. But you can kind of see what you're trying to achieve here on the line with a leaning pole set. And don't put your bait too far up. Keep your bait pretty close to that trap. You can kind of see where the tunnel's already there. So when this fisher comes up this tree and he goes to get that bait, he's got to pass through the conibear. Now these branches will cover that meat, so you're not exposing the meat for other animals to take, even eagles and hawks and that. So it's a good thing to cover it. And that's about as simple. I'm going to lure it up, and this glove that I wore in with the beaver meat, I'm going to rub up and down this branch just to leave that beaver smell on there as well. So that's the simplicity of this. Always remember though to take off your safety latches. You don't want to leave this thing and have the safety latches on it. So just remove them off your conibear. Both sides. Now that trap is ready for action. I'm going to lure it up with I'll put some mongrel right on there and a little bit of liquid beaver caster right here, and that's all you got to do. One thing about mongrel, and I don't mean this as a joke, you got to have some understanding people, because this is loud. This isn't like what people are used to in the trade. This is a lure that contains mid-tones and high tones, and fully balanced lure with obviously skunk essence in it. So it'll work in the harshest conditions, anywhere. And I can't say enough about mongrel, not because I'm selling it to you or whatever, but it's just an all-around product. And you'll see later the coyotes we also catch on this. In this location for fishers, I have two spots. I have my box cubby, and I'm going to do a leaning pole set. You trap fishers long enough, you realize a lot of times they avoid them boxes going in. They don't want to stick their head in there. And there's times that I'll double up in certain locations, especially hot spots like this one. In case he avoids that, he's coming here, and vice versa. So leaning pole set in a box in one area. We'll see what happens. Once again, the idea is to cover up your exposed meat here, make a nice entry so that you can see that bait up in there, and that's the whole purpose of covering it up. Lure it up and away you go. I put a little bit of liquid, just plain old liquid caster, a little bit over the top of that bait. All right, that's all. It sweetens it up pretty good, and if you have availability to caster, just use the freshest you can and put it up there. And then of course, yours truly, that's mongrel. So, and since I have sets at both locations relatively close, I'm going to apply this in between so they can circle around here and do whatever and hopefully get caught. And one other little tidbit with lure. Lures all have profiles. I won't get into the technicality of the thing, but you want to expose that lure. So when you're using lure, make sure you smear it out. Give it all that surface area to get that smell out. See, I'll show you something with the beaver meat. So this is why you want to use it if you have access to it. You can see the bloodiness in it, and then fishers being what they are, they'll smell that in the air. So it's good. It's a good meat for them, and it lasts a long time at the sets. If you're going to use beaver meat at your fisher sets, what I like to do is I cube the chunks up in fairly good size, but I freeze it until the day I'm ready to use it. And usually when I put it at the set, it's usually kind of half thawed or thawing, because as the beaver meat thaws, it starts bleeding, and you want that at the set. You want that blood smell at the set. So I keep things frozen just to the time I'm ready to use it. And maybe it's a couple days before you catch a fisher, but then that freshness and all that blood is in the air, and it works really well. So keep your beaver meat frozen until you got to use it. So there we have it. We finished the first part of the trap line, setting the fisher traps out. Some really good locations, combination of both, the box cubbies and the leaning tree pole sets. Back the second day, we're going to run the fisher line and see what rewards we have. This is where I had a box trap, a regular typical box trap, and I see it's closed, and preliminary looks, it looks like a fisher in there. I'm going to pull it out, we'll see what we got. It's going to be a live fisher because it's in a box trap, but I'll take him any way we can. It's a fisher. Oh, it's a big male. Big male. Yeah. Pretty too. So once again, you can see the beaver meat in the back of this cage, and I loaded it up. I have mongrel in the tree, and I put a little bit of that liquid beaver castor in there, and here you got your fisher. Pretty nice. I mean, he's good size. So if you got box traps, I mean, use them. Put them on your fisher line. It don't matter. It's still catching a fisher. And this particular area where I'm at, it's a thicket between two pine groves. I mean, some pretty big hemlock patches in here, and it's no wonders if this got caught. But looking at this fisher too, he's got he's blind in one eye. I'm not sure if you can see that, but he's got one eye that's blind. So that's fisher trapping. So first fisher of the season, big male. That is a beautiful male. Caught him in a live trap, so we had to dispatch him. But I mean, look at the paws on that bad boy. That is a big male. You gotta love it.